Hello all, this is Chilmy here from Nexience Gaming. I'm here with the two rostered Hearthstone players, Jay Spades and Ultima21.
What's
So,
up?
what we're going to commentate over is the semi-final of the Doseplay Thursday night tournament, in which Bapinda came second. So yeah, this is a semi-final against the guy named URFACEGOBOOM. Now, his three classes were, if I'm not mistaken, Druid, Hunter and Warlock.
Yep.
Yep.
So, why I picked Warrior was because Warrior was the worst pick into his classes, so he would know that, so he would want to get the Hunter win out of the way, which is why I thought if I picked the Warrior now, it would definitely be the right pick, and as it turns out, I was right here. And even against Zoo, I think Warrior was definitely the correct pick.
Yep, fair enough, fair enough.
What were your classes, Bapinda? They were Warrior, Druid, and Warlock, right?
Yeah, Zoo,
Yep.
Combo Druid, and Control Warrior.
Yep.
So at this point, you just have an interesting term. So you're contemplating slamming / armoring up.
So I'm expecting Face Hunter, so I just, especially by his name, so I just went reducing damage.
Yeah, fair assumption, dude.
I actually disagree with that slam, but
Why would you, armoring up, it doesn't remove the Scientist, and then you have to, slam off curve, which is so bad. Or were you planning to Death Spider it at some point?
yeah, I was just thinking if he goes turn 3 Animal Companion and he hits Huffer, then you're kind of in a
Yep.
pickle.
You have to take 8 to the face. I
Yeah,
understand
exactly.
that. Yeah, it would be pretty...
But I guess other than that, it's fine.
I got lucky that he got the worst one for him there.
Yeah.
And this was, really weird, that he just plays, a secret out of hand.
You'd be a little bit perplexed that he's got these two up now.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing
Now-
at this point
now
you're
it
assuming
gets
there's a
weighted.
freezing.
Yeah, it's... Now it
You
gives
probably
us
have to
weight.
expect it's freezing.
Snake or explosive?
I guess it has to be explosive because if it's snake, he wouldn't play snake into a death bite, right? That doesn't.
Snake
doesn't
would
make
have
sense.
already triggered. Oh, no.
No, I mean if the second one you played was snake, well, because
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
So
Yeah,
you
that's-
probably assume it's explosive. I don't know.
You're kind of
To
in the
me.
dark at this point, but you got
Yeah.
Beltron curve at 26 health, so you're feeling okay.
Yeah, this is fine. With the Hunter Secrets, all you have to do as a warrior is prolong the game. And Hunter Secrets actually help you prolong the game by just not attacking.
Yeah, the longer you get to curve out into those big dudes, I guess the better it is for you.
So just Shield Maiden here to proc the freezing trap at some point, get more health.
Oh, okay, rather than Sylvanas.
Yeah, one of the most annoying things when playing mid-range hunter is your
Shield
opponent
Maiden.
playing Healbot or Shield Maiden, and then you not being able to kill it, so they just can proc freezing with it.
Yeah,
Kind of just
'Cause
lose the game.
that's the value you want off Shield Maiden.
I guess this is a turn where you actually start making some kind of decisions, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I want to kill the Knife Juggler because Knife Juggler is just such a threat, always. So, proc the freezing.
Testing for snakes as well, I guess.
Yep. And if it was snakes, I would have just cleaned up all the snakes with the Death Spite. So it's obviously explosive now
Yeah.
that... Or like
You just play
Misdirection.
Boom, right?
Yeah, you would be leaning towards Boom now because you can just crash
Yeah.
into Juggler or Scientist or whatever, or weapon things
I think I
off.
would crash the Scientist, and then... What the hell? No, you definitely crash Scientist and play Boom. Not Scientist, I mean... The...
Juggler, right?
Juggler.
Juggler,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you crash Scientist, you just weapons it off and Juggler lives.
You know what? Crashing's it depends whether you think he's playing too freezing or too explosive. He's probably playing too.
I think
too
you assume
freezing,
he's
so-
playing too freezing if he's playing freezing in a deck.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very true. I have seen some people play more face-oriented hunter deck though, with
So too explosive on freezing. That's actually
Yeah.
an interesting trap variation. I think that would catch people off guard. in all
Yeah,
honesty.
That's
certainly
true. You'd be playing around the second freezing and fall into the second
Yeah,
explosive.
absolutely. Not a bad idea whatsoever.
But then again, I think explosive is just so bad against control decks. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it is. For sure.
You got Houndmaster here.
Ooh, so even though that looks like a good turn for him, by my hand I can clear his board without even brawling or anything.
Oh, that's
It's rather unfortunate.
yeah.
Yeah.
It went from a convincing win to one that you're going to kind of have to fight for.
Oh, yeah. I remember now what happens in this game. He just rips a hell of I won't spoil it, but like...
I didn't even watch like the first half of this game, so I can't even remember how you.
I just left it recording because I haven't seen this game.
Oh, you didn't... You know, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So probably... Like, Brawl is... I wouldn't Brawl this, even though I have 2 in my hand.
Yeah, I can see your cursor over the 3-3 and the 4-3. You're just like, yeah, my boombots can do this and that. Oh, jokes. They're all face.
Oh my god, Boombot,
Double
please.
taskmaster.
Yeah, the double task.
Oh, I don't know what this.
Especially into explosive. I don't know about this either.
No, but I'm never proccing the explosive, that's the whole point.
Alright.
And I'm gonna get one of the taskmasters back with freezing. Which I'm assuming he's playing 2 freezing.
If your boombots weren't shit, it would have been a much better turn.
Do we know how the traps work? Like, this is something I've been confused about. Like, is it the first trap? Like, say he has explosive freezing here, right? The explosive was set first. Is that gonna proc first and kill both you guys?
Yeah,
and then
explosive
freezing
proc
just
first,
like nullify, or just freezing bounce it first?
No. What's gonna happen is when you attack face, explosive will trigger, and then freezing will. They both trigger at the same time, and your monster will return, and the other one will die, no matter what are the secrets were.
That's fair enough, I guess then.
Yeah. Did you aim face or at a wolf there?
At a wolf.
Because you don't obviously want to proc explosive.
Yep.
Right. Well, I guess that's fair enough. I guess you're getting a little bit nervous about your health here.
Yeah, no, I was definitely like. But then again, I do have the shield maiden.
Yeah.
So like my health will come back up.
But can you
eventually.
imagine how this game would have gone if the boombots did what they probably should have done statistically? You never would have been in this predicament to start with, like at 11 health here.
Yep.
Just going back to that turn where you had the boombots and stuff, I think,
Brawling was correct.
no, I actually think like just using it, actually, you just swing one boombot into the 3/3 hound.
Oh, and
See-
executing
obviously
that
see how
off.
it pings, and you just use execute because like he has like he had like 2 cards at that point, right? So
No, but like then I just died to like a single high main. So I needed, and I didn't have like a shield slam, the other shield slam that I top decked.
I
So
suppose
I needed the. Damn, this guy is definitely just going for ace.
That's
Does
true.
go
You're
boom,
weak to high
XD.
main if you did. Your face go boom. Playing mid range, it's interesting.
Yeah, I know. Unexpected.
I see a common occurrence in these games where you literally hold back from proccing these secrets for a long time, and it works out in your favour a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's how you beat Hunter. You just
we
prolong
have
the
like
game.
10, 11. So you have like 22 damage on board here. Oh no, the Cruel Taskmaster dies. So you have like 19. If you draw like, I don't know how you do more damage than that, to be honest.
It's really
yeah.
unfortunate he had the second quick shot.
Yeah, and then you top decked another one.
Wow, I got the draw value off both. That's pretty sick.
Yeah. I guess you're backed into a corner with the execute here as well.
Yeah, I'm dead to a lot of things, but he has used a lot of burn damage, and this isn't exactly like Face Hunter where they're just going to top deck charge after charge.
Yeah.
So, like, you can go really low against mid-range Hunter and survive for a while.
And I guess your hero powers is negating his by the turn, so yeah, he actually needs damage to win now.
Yep. Oh, well, he's going to put me on 1 health next turn.
This is frustrating because you're not on a 2-turn lethal with Grom, it's more like a 3-turn because of this explosive.
Yeah.
It's just really frustrating.
I have so many heal in my deck that, like, if I draw, like, Armor Smiths, if I draw Alexstrasza, my second Shield Maiden, I think. Because I've only used the one that got bounced again.
At this point, it's just like who can draw like a good card first. You need like Armor Smiths / shield blocks, and he just needs like Kill Command Hounds.
Do we agree with him hitting face there with the weapon?
Yes, definitely. He needs to get me as low as possible.
Why'd
And
you
this is this is like just an absolute retarded misclick, and I was supposed to be Sylvanas.
This
but
It was
is-
all just the BM. The plan was just to BM.
Like, this is
Because
really
you knew you
intricate
had
BM.
him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if that was high main XD.
Yeah.
So now you have to burn another. Actually, no, you can just Grom Crash, right?
yeah, you Grom Crash
Armor up.
all day.
Okay. So you still haven't got him on a 2-turn clock at this point.
No,
I can't remember if he used one kill command this game or not either.
he did use one.
Alright, so he's
When
got
he-
literally one out in his deck because it's mid range.
Wait, did he? When did he use a Kill
Yeah,
Command?
because he went quick shot into kill command. That's how my life went so low.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's the second Shield Maiden.
Oh damn.
Well, you did have a lot of outs in your deck. Alex Double Armor Smith, a Shield Maiden, another Shield Block.
I actually don't think.
Procking the spider was correct.
I think.
What about?
What difference does it make if you
Don't
kill
you
the
die to
spider?
kill command though?
You die to kill command either way.
No, you're not dead to kill. Are you? Oh, if you
Yeah,
attack with, if you attack here, you die to kill command. Yeah. So I actually think leaving the spider up there is like just fine
In case
because
he
you use
gets
both
King
Hound
Crush or
Masters.
something.
Yeah, in case you get some dumb shit that can like just lose you the game. Because
But
you use
if
both
he was going to get
Hound
King
Masters,
Crush, then I would lose anyway because he would crash and then get King Crush and then win because King Crush is charged anyway. But whatever, he didn't.
Sure. I guess you make him like.
Yeah, in that instance
know.
where he has to dig for a beast to win. Yeah, I guess you do take the 1 damage off the board, right?
Yeah.
Actually, that's
Yeah, I
kind of true.
suppose. But I mean, you can always hope that some people just derp it and they'll like concede. They'll just snap concede before like crashing, the
Checking for
web
the web
spinner.
spinner.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure. Like that game, I'm not convinced on how he played it. Because you know how he manually played that secret when he already had a bow in hand and he wasted that turn investing 3 mana into the secret. I don't understand why.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense.
So this is Zoo versus mid range.
So what were you thinking matchup wise here? Obviously you can't use your warrior anymore, and he's still got druid.
I
Hunter,
think
warlock.
mid range hunter just dominates druid, so I'd rather take. It's a slightly worse matchup with druid against Zoo. Zoo against hunter because hunter's hero power just beats your hero power.
Yeah.
But still, Zoo can just be like super aggressive and it can keep up with mid range's board.
With
So I
your
guess it's-
particular lineup is mid-range hunter a bit of a worry because that can actually get there against warrior a bit of the time.
Yeah, it's definitely a solid deck, but like mid-range hunter always has this problem of like just not curving out high enough, and if they remove your early threats easily, you can just lose. That's why I don't like the deck anymore. I used to play it for like a long time, but
So that's obviously a freezing trap.
yeah, I wouldn't play freezing there if doesn't seem enough value to just bounce a creep.
Well, his hand must be absolute trash. Like he must have like a coin 4 drop here into like Houndmaster or Shredder, right? Well, okay, well I guess he just
Whoa.
loses then. Like
Okay.
this
I
is.
don't agree with that either. That's pretty terrible. That's kill commanding like a floater. That's not great.
Well, I don't know. We're just gonna assume his hand's absolutely terrible, because I don't think there's any other way you do that. If your hand's like anywhere near decent.
And if what you're saying is true, then him showing that his hand is really weak gives me initiative. So instead of playing the 4-mana creeper, you should be more aggressive with the knife juggler and owl here.
Do you know if juggler? I definitely think creep is better.
No, you've seen how weak his hand is. He kill commanded an imp game boss, dude. Like
Yeah, that just means he has no
And-
early cards to play, right? Like he can easily have like 2 high mains or a shredder
So isn't
or a
it better
Houndmaster.
to develop
So if-
juggler and stuff now and like put the
Yeah.
power on the board before turn 6?
exactly. So you want to put them on pressure because creeper is so passive. It's such a passive play, and you can't be that passive against hunter, especially
I
when
just
you're
think-
aggressive deck.
I don't mind playing juggler. I think playing owl is a bit
Juggler
it's a
tap.
waste on web spinner. Juggler tap I think was
So
probably.
this is interesting now because you know there's a 50% chance of freezing, 50% chance of explosive. Obviously, explosive being the worst card for you.
Yep.
So, well, I guess what are you thinking going into this turn?
So I want to save Juggler definitely. So because Juggler's the most important minion on board. The other two are throwaways.
Right.
So you would Argus Juggler, and you want to remove the Scientist as well.
Mhm.
So you would Argus between the Juggler and the Imp, and crash the Owl after you attack with the other two. Just get the damage in, and then deal with the secret.
And you're gonna deal with it next turn.
Yep.
What about bow?
Bow's value is minimal. Like, if I can just start putting pressure, and if he has to use his face to hit Juggler at 4 attack, that's fine as well.
So I guess you knowing there's an explosive in his deck completely rules implosion out of the equation, right?
Definitely. You
Okay.
can't play Implosion here.
So I guess this is a real gigantic advantage of knowing his deck almost inside out after game 1 and picking up game 1.
Yep.
That's explosive trap ringing, dude. I don't know, I still think the line of play with the juggler and the owl was 100% correct in the context as well.
I'm just too. I don't know.
I don't know.
Guess I'm just too scared to waste like an hour there because.
Because you're just worried about high main.
Yeah, just by the way he's played, it just feels like his hands either like, I guess like we saw there, like it's either like a bunch of hounds and quick shots, like cards you want to hold until you go for face game, or it's like a bunch of high drops like high main, maybe boom, shredder, stuff like that, where you want to like need silence to, because if he drops like high main against Zoo, right, you can't ignore it with Zoo. It's just too much damage. So.
I don't know how you deal with high main as Zoo. Even if you silence the things, you really want to be trading into that. I guess you do. I don't know.
You kind of I think it's fine if you silence it, but yeah, I don't know. That's why this matchup's like not that great in my opinion because with Zoo having no heal, all the Hunter has to do is put you to a certain amount, and it's just game over.
So this is the high main you were like ridiculously scared of, which I guess is fair enough. So this is an interesting turn.
Yeah.
What do you do here?
The wits.
Do you boom and race? Oh, okay. I understand what's going on. So
Collision Void Terror, I think, is coming.
Yep. So you can get Mal'Ganis out.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh, Void Terror came second. So that could have been terrible.
Oh wow.
I don't know if I agree with this either.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna play. I don't know. Maybe he just had to hope for the 50% there, right? Well, you can probably just play Boom. But
I think racing, I guess. So that's
it's actually like super tough. That turn.
That is super tough.
Because I think playing Boom there just doesn't do enough against 7 damage on board.
You think you can't win the race?
Yeah, you definitely can't. Like, assuming the Hunter guy has absolutely no more damage in his hand, Bapinda would go down to 13, which is like really close to being like game over against Hunter.
So, yeah, I understand that, but what if the Void Terror didn't, like, what if the Void Terror came out?
Yeah, it's I don't know.
That game's over too.
Exactly. So,
do you
you kind of just have to weigh up the equity in your head. Like, do you think you can win if you don't go for the 50% chance here?
Right. And boom, I guess you can't. And looking at that follow-up, you never were going to.
Yeah, probably not.
So I guess it's like the marginally correct play, but it's like there's a 50% chance of being blown out of the water. But this isn't looking good for Bapinda either way.
No.
And that trade from the last hound into the boombot was nonsensical.
Yeah, that was a lovely ping, by the way.
Yeah, it's about as good as it gets. Now that
so we're counting game here because so Direwolf is an added. So he has 11 damage on board.
Yep.
Direwolf is an added 2.
Yeah.
Argus is another added 2, and Power Overwhelming's 4. So it's 8 plus 11. So it's one off game.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
So you're trying to factor in the tap, which can get you into 2 Doomguard, 2 Abusive. It's that 6 mana Argus is hurting as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so this is like an equity thing. Like, if you usually you just try to tap to get game, but the thing is, do you need all the mana you like? Do you need all the 9 allotted mana
to play out the turn? Yeah.
And the answer is probably not. So you kind of just go for the tap here, I think, to try to draw the game shot.
Yeah, that boombot like brings him right back into the game. So what do you do with this 2/2 boombot?
I think you just go face. I don't think there's any reason to trade.
You're kind of dead to Owl ×2.
I mean,
6, 8,
Owl's probably game.
Regardless?
Not necessarily. He has to have Owl on Boom and then something else. Because,
oh, worrying.
Fine, I guess. You still want it to pink face. Okay, that's really good. Yeah, as long as everyone wants in pink face, it was fine.
So, at this point it looks like you're virtually in for game. I guess to throw everything in to clear it.
Yeah.
Can't actually kill the boom. He's burnt to kill command.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean,
so he's gonna have to go to 2 health. Ironically, he's still in the game. He has a decent shot at winning it. So again, you're weighing up your 2 Doomguard as opposed to tap. You can't tap, you die. You die.
Yeah, you probably can't tap because 2 damage is too common. Like even a quick shot. So yeah, the difference is here is like if you tap, you're dead to quick shot, and if you don't tap, you're not dead to quick shot. So.
Yeah. No, you're dead to quick shot.
Are you?
Yeah,
oh, you are. Yeah.
I
I guess tapping here is no.
I guess if you're summoning no more than 2 minions, you're not dead to hounds.
Yeah, it's very true. I think he summons Imp Gang Boss here, which we find out is actually
It's
just
the
a really
most
bad
horrible play.
Yeah, yeah, and that's because of So you want to summon? You can't summon 3 minions. You want to summon 2
You want
because
to summon
hounds
2 so
have
you're not
gang.
dead to hounds. That's the whole point of not
Yep.
tapping.
But the thing is, if you summon Imp Gang,
And he summons
then-
a minion.
yeah, and he pings the Imp Gang, he will get a 1/1, which will make
for
it
the
3
charge.
for hounds.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the actual the only way you can die besides actual other damage.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's 2 quick shot and a ping plus charge, like Unleash the Hounds.
So he just swings face. I think he's got
So
it. Yeah.
this is the nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
Because if he has Unleash the Hounds now, he has lethal. So Creeper was definitely better. And you have Power Overwhelming in your hand. There's actually no reason you'd want to play in-game boss anyway. Like it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Yes, yep. So just winning, yeah.
Yeah, obviously you're tutoring that Power Overwhelming. Kind of fortunate he didn't have the second Unleash or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
I
happens.
want to say that got a bit lucky against the Hunter, not drawing damage for like so long. But I mean, he did waste a quick
burn
like,
2 kill commands to be
Yeah.
absolutely fair. So it's kind of on him for using one on an in-game boss.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely feel like with mid-range Hunter, you just want to hold the straight damage cards until the final bit of the game because
Sure.
I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's kind of like a cat and mouse game with your opponent. Like, there's a lot of times where your opponent will have, say against Druid, you're playing against Druid, right, with mid-range Hunter, and they'll have an Ancient of Law in hand.
Yep.
If you use like the damage cards early on, they might like heal with Ancient of Law there.
Mhm.
But if you don't use them and you hold them, they sometimes might draw with it or play like another
They
card.
don't have
that stabs
incentive
the
to
board.
heal, right? So that's
Exactly,
that point where
yeah.
they feel comfortable enough not to heal, and that
Yeah,
can be the
yeah,
entire
exactly.
difference. Yeah. So that other turn when Bapinda tapped and played the Argus, like if there was still 2 kill command in deck, that probably wouldn't have happened. So yeah, changes the entirety of the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
now
and there's
he's
also
got
the-
Druid.
Sorry?
No, it's all good. Go on.
Yeah, there's also the flip side of that where if you haven't burned those cards, like regardless of whether you have them or not, you can put the fear into your opponent. Like I know there's many times where I've been playing Handlock and I'm like, I have Molten in hand, but I don't have enough mana to taunt it, so I'm forced to like play Healbot.
Yeah.
Which is just shit because like you want to save it until you can
Post
Molten taunt and then Healbot. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I agree with the silence, regardless of throwing the curve completely out of whack. I mean, your deck can't deal with freezing trap, and keeper's like one of the only ways you can.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for him to just draw the freezing trap there.
Yeah, it's fantastic for him.
Yeah.
So now Bapinda's looking like he's doing nothing till turn 5.
Yeah.
Really unfortunate.
Animal Companion really probably wins in the game here.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah, this is going to be a whitewash.
Yeah,
This game's
anything
over.
he gets, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Unless
I
he
guess
draws an
it's-
Innovate right now, the game is actually over.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Or,
this
like, a
game's
Shredder
done.
would be good here, but, I mean, it's still just trading with the Scientist, so it's not even that great.
I mean, what? You're already staring down the barrel of 7 damage on board, or whatever else, like, terrible things he has. Being mid-range is probably a Shredder on curve now, which is horrible for you.
Yeah, like, worst comes to worst, it's a Houndmaster here.
Yeah.
Shredder's also, like, really, really
Shredder's
bad.
terrible for him.
Yeah.
This is still bad. This is all bad. And that's probably the second freezing. You know, he might not have had the freezing in deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game's done. 1 kill command.
I think you
1
have
does
to,
not. I think you have to Belcher because of the second body, to just maybe absorb the damage. Or do you draw to the claw?
I don't, like... This is another one of the situations where I think you might have to play to win and like there's playing to win and then there's playing to not lose.
Yeah.
So I think if you play like Belcher or Taunt Drew the Claw here, you're playing to not lose. You're probably eventually losing anyway. I think you might have to like charge Drew the Claw and hope he has explosive, and then just try to swing Leok.
I
Like-
really like this guy's choice to give up 1 damage to keep his spiders intact.
Yeah, for sure.
The only
Especially
good thing
with
he's
swipe.
done. Yeah, exactly. But still, he's on 16 health, it's turn 6, there's still a freezing on the board. This game's pretty much done.
Yeah.
One more, like a silence or a removal spell from the hunter, and that's pretty much it. Or even a high main on curve.
Yeah, I think would definitely be the worst, yeah.
It's a good use of kill command, to be honest.
Yep.
I don't know about that.
Trading in the Leo.
I think running in your creep is better. Now your Leo dies to Wrath.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually a good point.
Because if that's freezing on board, he's going to have to do a lot to kill the spiders into tutor or swipe anyway. So it's probably not. It's probably just a marginal error, but I guess it's not consequential at this point.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's awful.
I think Law Heal is probably better here. Because, I mean, maybe Bipinda thought that the creep would go to 1 attack if you silenced it. That's not how Leo works, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see how.
There's no way out from here. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Houndmaster. Yeah, this game was over the minute there was actually a freezing trap onto the Keeper of the Grove, and the curve didn't smooth out. I guess it's a pretty common occurrence with Druid.
Yeah.
So we see a concede. So Bipinda's up 2 games to 1 at this point. So he's only got his Druid deck left against URFACEGOBOOM's his Warlock. Actually, no. URFACEGOBOOM had Druid, Hunter, Warlock. So yeah.
Yep. Which, yeah, it's
So
fine.
that Hunter finally nets a win. So we're going to see his Warlock or Druid.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you're
sorry, go.
so, if you're like 2-0 up with Druid as your last deck, I mean, it's pretty much like a guaranteed win because
You're going to draw Wild Growth at some point.
yeah, like obviously Druid has some bad matchups, like with the aggro decks, like we just saw. But there's so many times where you can just draw Wild Growth or like open Innovate Keeper against aggro decks, and you just win the game like outright.
Yep.
So it's pretty hard to get reverse sweep with Druid.
Now, alright, take your typical Warlock variants. You're either playing Zoo, you're either playing Handlock, right?
Yeah.
Both of which I think would honestly have like a 55%-ish matchup in favour of themselves against Druid. So why have you queued the Druid mirror into like, knowing like Bipinda's last deck is Druid, why have you queued the Druid mirror into this instead of like your Handlock or Zoo deck? Is there any particular reason you take the mirror first instead of taking the win that is probably in your favour?
Yeah, I really am not sure. Like the only thing I can think of is if he's playing Handlock, because I'm of the opinion that like Druid is favoured against Handlock.
Oh really?
Yeah, because like obviously if they open like the Giants, like Mountain Giant on turn 4, and then like they curve really well, it's super hard. But the thing is, you never have to play into Moltens. You can always leave them on like a healthy amount and just kill them with the combo. And Keeper just like rapes Twilight Drake. So if he's playing Handlock, I think this is fine. But I think we find out he's playing Zoo.
Which is even more nonsensical.
Yeah.
Anyway, because Zoo's got a really good matchup against Druid.
Yeah, I think we knew from a earlier round in the tournament that he was playing Zoo.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's probably a mistake. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? Because you're going to play both anyway. But
He innovated out Shade, I guess that's pretty standard, right? But him not having Wild Growth or a turn 3 play just actually kind of wins the pin to the game. This is how Druid mirrors go. Who drew the Wild Growth? Who curved out?
yeah,
I mean, because he's shown that he doesn't have a second Innovate, so his best possible play right now is a Shredder. It's an interesting decision. Looks like he's going to Innovate, coin out the Shade. What do you think of that?
I think it's fine since you have the Druid Claw next turn. Yeah, especially since how your face Boom opens. When he opens Innovate, wow, he swings into Shade here.
But he swings face.
Yeah, I guess this is just putting pressure on. But yeah, when he opens Innovate into Shade and just doesn't have like a turn 2 or 3 play, he's just trying to put pressure on and gain tempo in the mirror. So, trying to get the tempo back is probably a good idea.
This is almost like, do you think him attacking with Shade's almost kind of an indication that he has combo? Or is it more saying you're going to need like a multiple arraignment of cards or a keeper to actually kill my 5/5 Shade comfortably?
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I think it's more like it's kind of like I guess he's trying to stop Bapinda playing a 5-drop here, and like forcing him to use hero power.
Yeah.
Which is fine, I guess.
I think I prefer Druid of the Claw Taunt and actually trading the Silence Shredder into the 2/4.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how your opponent deals. Like I understand Shade will be a 6/6. Oh, okay, he decides to trade both in. It's interesting too. I mean, I guess.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah.
Because what's Druid going to do for 5 mana that actually kills a Druid of the Claw? Like, I don't think there is anything besides like outside of Innovate and rubbish. But
I think you can easily just go face with the zombie chow there and leave your Druid. Leave your Shade like masked. Because he's got this. He'd have a 6/6 Shade right now, but you'd have a Chow and a Shade of your own.
exactly.
So he's probably trading the 6/6 Shade into the Druid of the Claw, which is fine.
Yeah, absolutely. It's too good for him to pass up, and then you're just throwing your zombie chow back in.
Exactly. So you're trading the Druid of the Claw, and 2 damage instead of the Shade. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's actually worth just keeping a Shade instead of the Druid of the Claw.
Yeah,
to be honest, in the mirror match.
Yeah.
But it's kind of working out here.
It's working out here. Yeah, Savage Roar in hand. It's looking pretty.
The only problem is if your face go boom drops Doctor Boom. But he doesn't, so it's all good.
Again, this sequencing doesn't make any sense. What if this just killed the Doctor Boom?
Yeah,
I mean the BGH, sorry.
Oh wow, he doesn't get punished.
No, he doesn't get punished whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the mistake I see so many people make against Boom, is just dropping BGH first and then swinging for the Boom bots. Like,
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you don't want your BGH to die most of the time.
Never punished.
Yeah.
It's a terrible sequencing error.
Unfortunate.
Even though he didn't get completely punished, it still left BGH at 1 health.
Yeah,
The worst part for Bapinda is that he didn't get to double Drake, regardless of his opponent's sequencing error.
Yeah. Especially against Druid. Having like a 4/2 is so awkward because they're gonna have to wrath it for 3 if they have Wrath, right? And the hero power doesn't kill it, so it's like kind of just an awkward spot to have 2 health instead of 1.
Yeah.
Or dead, for that matter. I guess you just wrath for 3 here.
You wrath for 3, draw a card, and run a Drake in, I guess. Oh.
Yep. Oh.
Never mind. So, yeah, I guess this is the value of sequencing correctly. I mean, it's minor stuff, but you draw first, and then hold on, you might draw something you can use that turn. Now I can keep my Drake. I guess Drake just goes face here. You don't want to chances boom bots clearing your board.
Because for all our opponent knows, we could have combo, right? So
exactly.
We're going to force him to make some error, assuming we have combo.
Oh my goodness.
That's unfortunate.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, well, it kind of just throws it all out the window, I guess. Yeah, so this is pretty much game over.
Yeah.
There's just absolutely no way we can come back, unless we rip Scenarios here or something retarded like that. Scenarios into Force of Nature would be like the only way I can even think of.
I can't believe the boom bots killed 2 Azure Drakes. That's 10 mana investment gone.
Yeah. Oh my.
Wow, Keeper of the Grove, yay. I can imagine Bapinda's reaction at this point, he'd be livid.
Yeah, so this is probably going to be it.
Yeah. He's just contemplating whether to keep a face for 2 damage and somehow hope to draw into Force of Nature Savage Draw, right?
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth keeping face.
It's the only way you're going to win the game at this point.
Yep. I mean, because if your opponent has combo, we're dead regardless of if you play keeper or not. And maybe we maybe we force him to make an error by keeping face. Maybe he just thinks like, oh, I have to trade or something when he could go set up game. I don't know. It's
weird. He had
weird.
the tools to trade comfortably.
Yep. So yeah.
This game's over. He draws last. I guess if anyone's watching and is kind of a novice level Hearthstone player, just don't do what your Face Go Boom is doing. You don't play a Wild Growth to draw a card last. You can completely change your play. Just plan your plays around like the cards that you can draw first, and just plan your mana ahead of time. It's really not hard.
Yeah, I guess it's like it just goes back to like I do this sometimes as well. It's just you plan your turn at the start, like you plan it all out like before you do.
While
anything.
your opponent's playing pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes you do something and then later on you think, oh, I might tap here, or like I might wild growth here because I thought I'd need to use the mana, but I don't really.
Yeah.
But you should just plan it out beforehand, so there's
Exactly.
just nothing like that. I think that's game with swipe.
Yeah. That's
Exact.
on board. Yeah. So this is going to a game 5.
Yep, it's a bit unfortunate.
And now, look, in my opinion, I think Handlock has a decent matchup against Druid, but I think you have merit in saying, because I guess courtesy of combo and stuff like that, if you have a strong start as Druid, you can just blow them out of the water by like turn 9. They can just be dead.
Exactly. There's definitely ways that both decks can just like smash the other one, right? Like Handlock can open like Mountain turn 4,
Well,
and then like into like Belcher, Thaurissan, and like
consecutive Drakes hurt too when
yeah,
you don't have the silence.
exactly.
I mean.
Or on the other hand, like Druid can open like Wild Growth and just like go nuts before Handlock can really set up. But when it gets down to like a grindy game, I think Druid has the edge because like Handlock has to always be in fear of dying from X amount of life, where they can't drop Molten.
Yeah, that's the worst. That awkward range where you can't really do much, and then Druid has such reach.
Exactly. There's many times where they have like a Drake on field, right, late game, and you're on like 19, and you have to drop a heal bot to go to 27, and it just feels so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the saving grace of this hand is Wild Growth. I mean, without Wild Growth, especially if this is Zoo, this game's done for.
Yeah, if this is Zoo, I think it's done. Oh, actually, no, never mind. There's a keeper.
So it ends up being Handlock, I'm guessing, because he hasn't played anything turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's Golden Warlock, so you just assume it's Handlock anyway.
Yeah, you assume he played Handlock when it was good and couldn't be beaten. But
Yep, so with the tap, it's like...
Shredder would have been nice, but to no avail. So he threw away BGH, but to be absolutely fair, his opponent kept 2 or 2 cards. I mean, I guess it's safe to assume that's Zoo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of just like if you keep BGH against Zoo, you probably lose the game. But if you throw away BGH against Handlock, you're not necessarily dead.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
This is like definitely a tough spot here.
Because you don't want to silence, have that 1 mana spare, or like you don't want to innovate your hero power. That's rubbish. I think Law's actually a good idea. If you innovate out Law, he trades, he Mortal Coils or whatever. He has a 4/3 Drake you can deal with, like with a Wrath or something later on. I don't think it's terrible.
Yeah, Law's definitely fine, for sure. Because
Grove's not good enough.
Yeah, he coins out Drake, right? So his turn 4 is probably
most likely another Drake.
Another Drake,
like that.
Another Drake, or like tap Ancient Watcher. So if you force him to Mortar Coil, you like kind of put. I guess he has
throwing
it.
him off curve, right?
Exactly.
And then he taps, So yeah, exactly what you're saying. If he did have that Drake, he didn't get to play it that turn. So Thorison's a great pickup here. Goodness.
Yep.
I remember seeing this game. I remember this particular moment. I'm just thinking, short of a second Mortal Coil or short of some kind of assistance in the Handlock's hand, he actually can't deal with Thaurissan on board, which means he would have to invest mana and cards into it again. Which just makes this look all the more appealing to just Thaurissan, just pop it down. I mean, silencing's redundant at this point, because if you're not going to do a 2 4/8, you're not going to do a 2 4/3. Drake's redundant because it trades in too well. And yeah, Thaurissan's the play.
Yeah, the 2 plays are like keep it, deal 2 damage, and then hero power into it, or I guess you could silence as well. It doesn't matter. Or you just Thaurissan. Yeah. But yeah, I think Thaurissan's for sure better. I mean, the only way this is bad is if he has a second Mortar Coil, and I guess he does.
Which he just got it off the top, and a Mountain Giant would be horrible.
Yeah, and a Mountain Giant like a Drake. Wow.
So that's the nightmare scenario.
Yeah, this is, absolute stone worst scenario.
So
because we're assuming he has to like Dark Bomb it, which would just completely throw off his curve.
So we know he had Mountain Giant and Twilight Drake in his hand, right? So was it correct to coin out?
Really?
Yeah, he was, because they both came from like the pretty far left of his hand. He didn't tap into that Twilight Drake that he coined out. So was that correct to even coin out the Twilight Drake, or should you be playing Giant first against Druid? I guess it depends entirely on his hand, but
he has a Molten Giant. I don't see any reason to coin out Drake whatsoever.
It doesn't make sense because you don't have a turn 4 follow up.
Exactly. And like Druid's not a deck that can just put pressure on you where you need to clear their guys. Like
no, you have one big game hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Scenarios is looking good here.
Yeah, Crash Scenario seems fine. I mean, this is a spot where we have Savage Roar and Force of Nature, so it's and especially with Thaurissan, it's like we have a deceptively early combo, so we can maybe just steal a
This
win.
is a good idea to try and tutor ourselves into lethal range, right?
Yeah.
Is it that kind of awkward range you're talking about, where you're nowhere near molten range, but you can actually die? One way or
Exactly.
another?
I mean, if he just plays Boom here, I think that's game.
Yeah. I think his answer ends up being, Shadow Flame's interesting, so he's got to have a Dark Bomb, right?
Oh, yep.
That's rather fortunate. But he's got nothing else to follow up with, right? So we're back to initiative. That's a fantastic pickup in light of combo.
Yep.
So what do you think you should be doing with this Druid's Claw? Should you charge both, taunt both?
I hope he charges one, for
He
sure.
charges one. So why are we not
Yeah.
charging both if both Mortal Coils are gone?
I just think, like,
Is there any,
it's actually a good point.
is there
It's a
actually
really good
any
point.
reason not to charge both?
And
I mean, it's...
this is game with 15, the exact game.
And
I
this
guess
is the
just
power of
scaring, like-
Thaurissan, yeah. Because you normally got 14, but you got hero power. A rather frustrated Bapinda.
I guess if you charge both, that's kind of like, it's kind of like saying to your opponent, "Hey, I have combo, like, please don't heal," or, you know. But I guess it doesn't really matter.
I think if you're charging one, you're telling your opponent you have combo.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I think actually maybe just charging both is like good there.
Yeah, and it didn't
But
really.
I mean, it ended up not mattering, right?
Yeah.
But that might have been a slight misplay, especially if he was on like one more health. That was like a huge miss. That would have been a huge misplay.
Because without Thaurissan, that could have actually died.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted
Yeah.
to quickly talk about the final. Now, we don't have footage of the final as far as I'm aware, but you're aware of the deck that Frosty played, right? The Mage deck.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it's like the fatigue kind of thing,
The
right?
Fatigue Mage deck, yep. So, we're pre-expansion.
Yeah.
Now, and it's a real shame because us being like really close to expansion, I don't think this deck's going to see much light of day. I know some people know about it because Hira streamed it or whatever. I just wanted to bring this list up really quickly because I think it's super interesting. I think you're aware of like what most of the list would entail, but I'm just going to bring it up quickly and get your thoughts because this is the one that actually like kind of lost Bapinda the series.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's the deck's playing like one Illuminator, two Explosive Sheep, like Flame Strikes, but no Blizzards, like double Ice Block, Duplicate. It's such a strange deck.
Yeah, it's definitely weird.
If we went 2 weeks out from 120 cards being dumped into our accounts, like I think this deck could be amazing in the context of the current meta.
Yeah, definitely.
I definitely want to bring up this list and just talk about it because this is pretty much why Bapinda lost the series in the final. So Frostos.
It's kind of similar to Freeze Mage.
Oh,
Like with Freeze Mage, you're traditionally like behind against Control Warrior and like I guess Patron maybe if they can get a good like Armorsmith thing. But yeah, with this deck you can actually kind of beat Control Warrior, which is weird.
you can actually
because
get
you kind of
past their own armor,
yeah, you just whittle them down like
yeah, because you can literally go to Fatigue, right?
yeah, exactly.
And
you can't,
Warrior,
it's
yeah, exactly.
kind of
Warrior-
like Mage.
Yeah, so
Not
Warrior
Mage.
against Freeze Mage would just like get value off their Death Bites and Acolytes and stuff and drawing. So if they don't quite get the picture early on that this is that kind of different variant that can take you to Fatigue rather than just burn you out, they can just straight lose themselves the game early on.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, our mate Frosty, he's a pretty decent fellow Australian player. He cut Unstable Ghoul for Antonidas, which I really agree with. But with the list as it is now, I don't think I agree with Fireball in this kind of deck where you just want to get board control and stall the game. It's not a Freeze Mage deck, and Antonidas can spawn you all the Fireballs in the world, right? So why are you playing Fireball?
Yeah, exactly. The Fireballs just do seem a little bit out of place. Like, sure, they're like good removal, but there's probably other cards that are better in that spot.
Yeah, the deck on paper looks rubbish. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it definitely does.
But we've both had a chance to play this deck in the... Like I said, if we went 2 weeks before an expansion, I think this would be a special deck. This destroys Patron. This destroys Hunter. This can actually beat Control Warrior. I think this would, like, floor Druid if you played well. Perhaps. Like, well-timed Frost Novas, like, good ice blocks, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. What do you think?
I think Druid would probably be the hardest matchup. Because...
I guess combo is one of your main worries.
Yeah, it's just such a deck that... it's a deck that can either play really slow and like have these big drops, or it can play super, like, it can get the big drops out super fast before you can set up your kind of like stall.
It's got these awkward drops too, like you get a 5/5 Ancient of Law, right? Draw 2 cards. Do you really want to polymorph that?
Yeah, exactly.
It
Like,
puts you in such
I guess if you're playing
predicament.
Fireball, you can just waste a Fireball on it, but like,
Yeah.
that's also just feels really awkward.
Yeah, I don't think Fireball has a place in this deck. It's a shame.
Yeah.
There's not much time to tweak the deck. I guess we have to focus our attention to bigger and better things. But I just wanted to draw attention to it because yeah, this deck it beat Bapinda's Control Warrior, right? Like quite convincingly, if I remember correctly. And I think that was courtesy of like duplicate Illuminator and weird combinations. But you know, if anyone's a little bit bored before expansion, I suggest giving this a go. But don't play to your detriment because it's a pretty hard deck to play.
Yeah,
You know,
I would agree with that.
one polymorph at a time, acolytes where you can't get instant value like warrior. You got to be careful with your secrets and what you duplicate as well. But yeah, just wanted to draw attention to what I think would honestly be one of the best decks in the meta if we weren't about to go through an absolute roller coaster. So I guess that wraps things up. Did you have any concluding thoughts on the series? I don't know, the new expansion, anything on your mind Hearthstone related?
Not too much. I think the series was like, I think it was pretty well played from both ends. Just some sequencing errors from like URFACEGOBOOM, but that's not the worst thing you can do, right? I didn't see any like glaring misplays from either sides.
Not particularly, but those sequencing errors will get you 1 in every 20 scenarios or something like that. It's obviously
Yeah, exactly. They're definitely something to like, if you're like reviewing your play or whatever, you just like, you can pinpoint and that's something to fix, easy fix.
And those kind of sequencing errors is what really hinders plays, especially with handlock kind of decks.
Yeah,
you need to
sure.
revolve your turns around tapping, and the player who ends up tapping more and not dying wins the game. But you know, and we're talking mirror match or something like that. Yeah, so I guess we saw a couple sequencing errors. We saw combos. Yeah, it was an interesting series, but yeah, I'm really excited about this mage deck, but devastated at the same time because you know, in a couple of weeks, it's probably going to be close to irrelevant.
Yep, unfortunately.
Alright, I guess that concludes things, so we'll be off for now. So on behalf of Nexience, until next time, enjoy the video, like, subscribe, check out our website, nexience.com.au. In the video description you can find links to our social media. Show us some love, show us some likes. We do have a sponsorship announcement coming in the next coming weeks or so get amped for that. We're getting some jerseys made, and yeah, some big things are happening, and obviously around the corner we have like the Hearthstone National Championships, so you can kind of be one step on your way to BlizzCon. So we're all going to be busy preparing, especially Ultima21 for that. So we'll be off for now. Alright, farewell.